Tell the Roachbox story. Why do you want me to tell all these old stories? Okay. Back when I worked at GameStop, somebody came in with a bunch of video games to trade in. Xbox 360 games. They brought a big stack of them, and I was checking them. As a GameStop employee is wont to do, I was checking them for scratches. So finally, I get to a video game, Transformers: The War for Cybertron. I open it up, filled to the brim with dead cockroaches. The person that was selling the games immediately was like, I checked them. No, I checked them. I don't know why they look this way. I checked them. And this is a guy who's like a regular at my store who's just like a big fibber who'd lie about like, yeah, but no, my grandpa died this week. He exploded, spontaneous combustion. You know, it's real. You know, it's real. So he's just like making shit up, and I just open up the case filled to the brim with dead roaches, close it, hand it back to him like, no, dude, I'm not taking that shit. Keep going through the games. One by one, get to another one. I think it's like Transformers the game. Boom. Same thing. Filled with dead cockroaches. I say, no, dude, no, thank you. Not taking that one. After we took the games we could, and after he left, my boss at the time, who I love, like he's a fun guy most of the time. I like him. I still talk to him every once in a while. I was like, why don't you just take those games? You can just take the bugs out. And I was like, I'm not fucking dealing with that. No, sir. No, sir. No, thank you. I don't get a GameStop employee don't get paid enough to do that shit. No, thank you. And it was just the 2 Transformers games in this stack of 360 video games. My second Roachbox story was me checking the cases at GameStop and seeing and looking at a PS4 Pro, and a cockroach crawled out of it live, and we just traded it in like the day before. So I grabbed the PS4 Pro, I wrapped it up in garbage bags, I put it in the defective bin and sent it off to corporate so they could deal with it. Not my problem. I was just like, nope, we're not selling that. Defect that immediately. Had to go through and I checked all the other consoles in that glass case with it too to make sure they weren't like infected. The third Roachbox story happened at Best Buy, wherein I was training a new customer service employee and I had taken my break. I come back from my break and he's helping a customer with a PS4. It was a PS4 return. They were trying to bring their PS4 in to get it returned under the Best Buy extended warranty protection plan, the Geek Squad protection. And I take over because he's about to test it because that's what we like to do at our customer service desk is, hey, if it's a console, we have a game in the back the Geek Squad keeps in there to test shit. We can just test it. Because I like to make, the life easier on my coworkers that I can. So I took over for him. And I plug this PS4 in, and it makes an audible crunching sound as I plug the power cable in. Like an audible. And I was like, oh, fuck. Turns on. He was like, the customer who was sitting there with like her bag and her box was like, oh, I didn't know it would just turn on like that. Oh, it's crazy. It wasn't working for me. And I am like, yeah, it seems to work if you just want to take it. She's like, oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. I was like, okay. I go to pick up the PS4 box. I look down at my hands, crawling with roaches. And I mean, there's like 10 to 15 cockroaches on this PS4 box that she had put on the counter that nobody else had noticed. And I look down and it's like, there are bugs on my skin. One of the cockroaches had crawled on my hand. I was like, there are bugs on my skin. There are bugs on my skin. Oh, fuck. So I like threw it. I fucking grabbed the bag, grabbed the PS4, grab everything, throw it in a big Best Buy bag, hand it to her and say, this is infested with cockroaches. No. Fourth cockroach story. When I was a kid, I was poor growing up. I was a poor boy, all right? I'm not going to lie. Fourth cockroach story. Let's bring it back. We're going to wrap back and we're going to go all the way to the beginning. Oh, I have more. Fourth cockroach story from when I was a kid. I was just a young boy, right? I was just a little guy. I was living with my grandparents for a month or two because some family things had happened, basically. And I was living in my grandparents' trailer with them. And they were taking me to school. I went to school for like a month there. And this is, I think, 3rd or 4th grade. No, it would have been 2nd grade. Fuck. So this is 2nd or 3rd grade. No, 3rd grade. 3rd grade. All the way through 3rd grade. That's right. Because 3rd grade and then end of 3rd grade was at Dad's farm. Okay. So this was 3rd grade. And I was living with my grandparents. Now, my grandparents were hoarders. Meaning that they lived in a trailer park and they lived in disgusting conditions. They were doing a lice check at school. Right? They were doing a lice check at school. And I was getting my hair checked. The nurse pulls out a bug, staples it to a Post-it note and says, hey, can you take this home? And on the note was a cockroach with the word lice ? Next to it. Listen, you asked for a roach story, I'll give you 3 extras. You're welcome. I fucking hate cockroaches. I hate them. Lice? Question mark. Yeah. I hate cockroaches. When I lived in my mom's apartment, 2nd to 3rd grade, we also had a roach infestation in her apartment. And one day I opened up the freezer, and inside is a cockroach, but it's completely white. And so I was like, oh my God, what is this? Is this some kind of sign? Like, child me was like, what is this? Is this some kind of sign? Does this mean something? 5 roach stories. 5! So yeah, when I was a kid, I saw a white cockroach. Really weird. Never seen that before in my life. The true horror is going back to work for GameStop. The true horror was working at GameStop. You have a 6th? Do I have a 6th? That's a question. Let me rattle my mind for a moment. I might actually. I guess when I was like in 2nd grade, I mean, I used to take toothpicks and like stab the roaches into the carpet sometimes. Is that like fucked up and weird? That's not really a story. That's just something I used to do because we used to have so many like bugs in the apartment. It's probably like a weird thing. That is fucked up and weird, Brendan. I didn't grow up normal. I keep saying this to you, and sometimes people don't believe me.